Thank you for joining us today. We are really happy to have you here. First of all, I would like to give a very warm welcome to our special guest, Mr. Kaushik Bar, co-founder and CTO at InXiteOut. Thank you so much for being with us today. We truly appreciate your time, presence, and are excited to learn from your experience. Before we start, let me quickly introduce our company and the people joining this session. We are Natcap Labs, a blockchain development company working in this industry since 2017. We help businesses build solutions like crypto exchanges, DeFi platforms, blockchains, applications, Web3 projects, smart contracts, NFTs, and much more. And on the panel, we have Mohammad Afzal, a blockchain marketer, and Soumya Krishna, Web3 growth lead, Arpit Jaswal, Web3 enthusiast. And I'm Shania, your host for today, a crypto community manager at Natcab Labs. So before we begin this session, I would like to Mr. Kaushik to please introduce yourself to our audience and tell us a little about your journey.
Yeah, thank you, Shania. I'm not sure whether, I think my camera got frozen for whatever reason. I hope it comes back out. Um, First of all, sorry for joining, I think 3, 4 minutes late. Apologies for that. Hello, everyone. First of all, thank you for having me. I am a co-founder of InXiteOut, which is an AI consulting and software startup that helps organizations leverage AI to solve business problems and accelerate digital transformation. We work a lot in customer intelligence for clients in CPG, real estate, and retail. I work there as the CTO and take care of AI and generative AI innovation, take roadmap, thought leadership. Before co-founding this company, I was working with the consumer semiconductor industry with the likes of Intel, AMD, SanDisk, etc., where I was working on, audio, video, image processing, CPUs and GPUs, data storage, etc. Over the past several years, I have had the opportunity to work with businesses across industries, helping them
Sorry,
move beyond.
sorry to interrupt you, but please, sir, can you please check your camera?
Yeah, let me. I mean, it is switched on. Okay, but
So please rejoin.
yeah, let me try to rejoin. Yeah, that is better.
Yes.
Hello. Okay, I think the camera seems to be working now, right? So yeah, as I was saying, right, last few years I was working with the businesses across industries, helping them move beyond AI experimentation to building practical, scalable, and responsible AI solutions. Right. My interests span machine learning, deep learning, generative AI, AI agents, enterprise AI adoption, and uh, emerging technologies that are shaping the future of business. So I'm excited to be here today to share my perspectives on what the future of AI really looks like. Yeah.
Thank you so much. It's great to have you with us today. Now let's move on to the question. And I will take the first question. AI has evolved from an emerging technology into a strategic business priority. From a co-founder's perspective, what has been the biggest shift in the AI landscape over the past few years?
Yeah. So the biggest shift isn't that AI has become more intelligent. We all know that. It's that AI has become a boardroom conversation. 3 years ago, companies were asking, can AI do this? Can AI do that? Right? Today, they are asking, how fast can we deploy it? And what ROI can we expect? That's a completely different mindset. Um, another major shift is that we have moved from model centric thinking to business centric thinking. Earlier every discussion revolved around which model was better, GPT, Claude, Gemini, or an open source alternative. Right, today these all those models are becoming increasingly capable, and the real differentiator is no longer the model itself. Now the differentiation is how well AI is integrated into business workflows. AI is becoming part of the operating model itself. Um, we have also seen the economics change dramatically. Open source models have matured. um, Inference costs continue to decline, and smaller specialized models are becoming practical. Um that would mean that AI will no longer be limited to large enterprises with massive budgets. Startups and mid-sized companies can also now build sophisticated AI products. And as a consulting company, we have noticed clients asking fewer questions about the technology itself, and far more questions about, let's say, implementation with governance, how the adoption will happen, and what will be the measurable business outcomes. And that's a very, I would say that's a very healthy evolution. you know yeah.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Yeah, my first question is every company wants to build with AI today. What's the
Mhm.
biggest misconception businesses have been there begin their AI journey?
Yeah. So um, you know for real AI adoption, organizations should not begin with a statement like, we need an AI chatbot, right? Instead, they should begin with questions like, let's say, where do employees lose the most time? What decisions are repetitive? Uh, which customer interactions are causing friction, right? Where does knowledge getting trapped, right? So you have to clearly, the organizations, right, we have to clearly understand the business problems first. Only then should AI enter the discussion. Another misconception is that AI is primarily a technology project. Right? That's not true. It's actually an organizational transformation project. You need the right data, governance, change management, employee training, security policies, and not to forget executive sponsorship. Right. So the technology is often not the hardest part. The people and the process changes, these are really the hardest part of AI adoption, right? Yeah.
Hello, sir.
So
So, as a co-founder and CTO, how do you decide which AI trends are worth like investing in, and which one are the simply industry hype?
Yeah, I mean, that's a very good question, because things are changing rapidly. Things are really changing rapidly. And I mean, I know of experts, people at the very top, they are getting confused. So much of changes that are happening. So I usually evaluate every trend using three questions, right? First, does it solve a meaningful business problem? If the answer is no, we move on. Second, can it create, sorry, I think my camera once again froze. But second is, can it create measurable value in a time boxed manner, for example, within 6 months? Because innovation is exciting, but businesses invest in outcomes. Third, is the underlying technology improving consistently? Because some technologies plateau quickly, others compound every few months. So, generative AI has demonstrated consistent capability improvements over multiple generations, right? Similarly, agentic AI also has moved from research prototypes towards enterprise deployments, right? Which is making it increasingly interesting. Another thing that I also pay attention to is whether where the industry's smartest engineering talent is moving. These days, when companies acquire AI startups, right, they are often acquiring specialized teams rather than products or IPs. Uh, that's usually a strong signal, that an area has long-term strategic importance. Shania, should I, try to rejoin? Maybe it will work for a few more minutes and then maybe go for, I don't know what exactly is happening with the camera today.
Turn off your
Should I
camera.
try rejoining?
No need to rejoin again. You just need to turn off your camera and turn on. It maybe work.
Turn off. Okay, let me try that. Okay, good. Yeah, that's a good hack. Cool. Yeah, thanks. I mean, so yeah, I think that's good. And yeah, I think these are the three questions that I typically ask, right? And if the answer to all three questions are yes, I know that this is not a hype, it is a trend. It is a sustainable trend. Yeah.
Okay. So my first question is, the conversation is shifting from AI tools to AI and autonomous systems. How do you see this changing the way software is built and used?
Yeah. So, I mean, sea change is happening even in terms of how software is getting built today. We all know that, right? Um, and I think we are entering one of the biggest shifts in software since cloud computing. Traditional software waits for users, right? Whereas, I mean, user will have to give some input and then the software will do some work. Whereas AI agents initiate work, they do the work. So instead of opening five different applications to complete, one task, you will increasingly describe your objective like, let's say, prepare next month's sales forecast. And the AI agent gathers data, performs analysis, generates reports, and schedules emails to share those reports and ask for approval only when necessary. So, software becomes outcome oriented rather than interface oriented. This also changes software architecture. Instead of building individual applications, companies will increasingly build ecosystems of multiple specialized AI agents that collaborate. For example, we may have coding agents, finance agents, legal agents, customer support agents, procurement agents, all working together, right? So humans will become supervisors rather than operators. They will become architects, right? So the place of where uh, the human value is located in the entire stack, that is changing. So maybe humans will become an architect instead of a developer. They will become um, some sort of a legal expert who can identify whether this particular um, you know uh, rule for this particular act is being followed or not in the code, right? So these are the kind of things that the humans will be responsible for. Most of the other things, the implementation, coding, testing, much of the things probably will be uh, done by agent. At least the so far the results are pretty good, right? Yeah.
Great, Kian. Will foundation models become commodities, or will they continue to be a key competitive advantage?
Yeah, so I mean, that's another. I mean, I like this question very much. Right? I mean, I have been working in deep learning and AI since 2011. And when I think no one, at least in India, no one was talking about AI, etc. back in the days. I have seen the shift, how things changed over time. But over the past few years, a lot of changes have happened. And let's look at what's happening globally. You know, OpenAI, Anthropic, Google, Meta, Mistral, DeepSeek, Alibaba. I mean, every few months, another frontier model appears with comparable benchmark scores at lower cost. China's maybe some of you might have heard or seen the news. China's Z.ai and Japan's Sakana AI, right? They demonstrated how quickly open competitors are closing the gap while driving the interface inference costs down, right? So uh, many of them are not even building foundational models. Instead, they are creating interfaces to orchestrate across multiple models, right? So that means the model itself, the LLMs, the foundational models themselves are becoming less differentiated. I mean, and you can also see it. I mean, you ask some question on ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini, you will see somewhat more or less okay, good enough answers, right? So the differentiation now moves to enterprise data, enterprise context, the right context, user experience, right? Distribution, trust, etc., etc. So these are the places where the differentiation will move, and um, I mean, to be a bit philosophical, the history often repeats itself, right? So databases became commodities, cloud became commodities after that, and now I think LLMs are also moving, or large language models or LLMs, right, are also moving in the same direction. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's my take.
Thank you for your insightful answers. And my next question is, what emerging AI trends do you believe is still underestimated but has the potential to reshape industries?
Yeah. So context engineering definitely comes to my mind first, because the quality of an AI system increasingly depends on the quality of information available to it, right? So the questions are, can AI access company knowledge? Can AI remember previous interactions? Can AI retrieve the right documents at the right time for the right user, right? Can AI use enterprise tools securely? So the future wouldn't belong to whoever writes the cleverest prompts. There was a huge prompt engineering related discussion that used to happen maybe 3-4 years back. A lot of discussions used to happen how to write the right prompts, etc. I think the future will belong to organizations that build the richest and most appropriate context around their AI systems. That's where sustainable competitive advantage will come from. Um, Also, we have seen in the past, if we go back maybe over the last 2 decades or so, if we just think about what sort of changes created what sort of values, right? You will see that platform shifts create more value at the application. Very few companies built operating systems, right? Um, but millions built uh, software on top of them. Similarly, today, LLMs are infrastructure, and applications can create business value. That's why vertical AI startups are attracting, so much investment. Uh, for example, I think last month only in June, Mo Engage, which is an Indian customer engagement software firm, they acquired an AI startup named MP in June for autonomous AI agents that will make recommendations decisions for individual customers. They expect that this will become the future of marketing and customer intelligence. So vertical AI, right? So that is where the value will be created, is what I think. Yeah.
Okay, so beyond the LLMs, which emerging technology has the potential to like refine the future of AI robotics, AGI, multimodal system, digital twins, or is something else?
Yeah, I mean, see, humans don't communicate only through text, right? So LLMs are primarily, they are large language model, right? So text is the core part of it. But humans, as humans, we see, we hear, we speak like we are doing right now. We move, and AI is developing. These are called multimodal capabilities, right? And AI is developing multimodal capabilities very fast. Uh, Models can now understand and uh, increasingly interact with physical environments, and I think that creates enormous opportunities in especially healthcare, manufacturing, um, logistics, education, retail, and I think many other industries. Also, apart from large language models, I mean, everyone speaks about large language models. There are also small language models, or SLMs. Okay. Because not every task needs a trillion parameter model. uh, Running AI on, for example, let's say phones or machines or instruments in hospitals, drones, cars, right? These will require very efficient models, right? So edge AI, right, where AI is actually deployed on edge, on device, right? So that will become enormous. And for that, SLMs, even though there's a lot of, you know, storage, data storage, there's a lot of evolution that has happened in the past. Even then, given that uh, today's LLMs are pretty large, right? I think for edge AI to function very efficiently, SLMs will be very important, and especially I think in manufacturing and healthcare, edge AI will become enormous, is what I think. Yeah.
Okay, my next question is, as AI becomes deeply integrated into products and services, how should leaders balance rapid innovation with trust, security, responsible AI development?
Yeah. So, there's a lot of discussion about responsible AI. In fact, just a few months back, I was having a seminar at IIT Mandi, where we were, discussing in a panel about responsible AI, etc. Across, there were multiple industry veterans who were discussing, including me. And so, I would like to mention that trust isn't something you add later, right? It has to be designed from day one. Organizations need governance frameworks before they need bigger models, is what I feel. Okay, every AI deployment should answer questions like, where does the data come from? Lineage, basically, right? Who can access it? How are decisions being explained? Uh, where does a human intervene? How are outputs getting monitored? So all those questions, right? And if you look into the kind of changes that are happening in the world of tools that are getting used for developing AI, and data engineering, data science, all are interrelated. Tools like Databricks, which is pretty big these days, they are also coming up with systems that take care of the governance as a centerpiece, right? Not uh, as something as an add-on later on. So this is where the industry is moving. We are also seeing regulators around the world increasing expectations around transparency and accountability. Many of you might have heard about DPDP Act in India, and GDPR, CCPA, and all those things were anywhere there in Europe, America, etc. So responsible AI is becoming a business requirement. It's not a nice to have aspect, and customers are increasingly choosing companies that they trust. So I think I mentioned it previously also. One of the differentiator is gonna be trust, and trust is becoming a competitive advantage. So yeah, that's why I think responsible AI and how innovation can be sort of balanced with trust, security, and other things. It's immensely important now. Yeah.
Okay, so looking at the next decade, which industry do you believe is on the verge of the AI transformation and most people is still underestimated?
Yeah. So, I mean, if you ask me, I would like to bet on construction and real estate. Uh, Everyone talks about healthcare and finance and retail, and there are so many use cases of AI on these. These are implemented use cases. People are actually extracting value from these industries, usage of AI in these industries. But construction and real estate receive much less attention. I'm picking these two. There may be others also, but uh, within our organization also, we have started to focus on these industries a lot these days. These industries are still heavily dependent on manual coordination, documentation, manual scheduling, manual procurement, uh, manual engagement. All those things happen very in an ad hoc manner, uh, right? And the data is trapped in silos across multiple different systems, right? So AI can dramatically improve productivity and reduce delays in these sectors, in these areas. Another underrated sector, I think, is government services. Okay, because governments manage uh, huge, enormous amounts of documentation and citizen interactions. Uh, AI has, I think, tremendous potential to improve efficiency, accessibility, uh, and service quality uh, in there as well. So I think these are industries where um, AI can definitely have a lot of impact. I'm not sure. I mean, you guys are uh, from the blockchain industry, right? So how AI can bring value to blockchain, I would like to hear from you, because I don't want this to be a one-way discussion. If you have anything that you feel that AI can, I think. Uh, as far as I know, right, blockchain also is somewhat, um, I mean, they enforce the rules, right? Whereas AI is non-deterministic, right? So sometimes you need systems to be very strict, right? And that's where blockchain becomes very handy. whereas sometimes being very strict becomes a challenge, and that's where I think AI can bring the value. AI being non-deterministic and being dynamic, being able to take decisions on the go, right? That's where I think AI can add a lot of value. So maybe AI can add a lot of value to blockchain also. I'm not sure. I'm not a blockchain expert. So yeah.
Like internal linking subside. What new AI business model do you believe will define the next generation of AI companies?
Yeah. So there are some interesting trends that are happening. We are moving beyond. So SaaS, software as a service, that model was uh, reigning for, for a long, very long time. But I think we are moving beyond software as a service toward service as software. I'm not sure whether you have heard this term. So instead of selling software that helps human work, companies sell AI workers that perform the work. So, like for example, AI sales representatives, AI recruiters, or AI accountants, or AI customer success agents, AI legal assistants, etc., etc. So you are paying for outcomes, not licenses. Uh, Maybe let me give some examples. Actually, Meta's recent enterprise AI push is a very good example. It is positioning AI business agents, which they released very recently. AI business agents, you can look up on Google. These agents can qualify leads, handle customer conversations, and integrate with enterprise tools, rather than simply providing another chatbot. I am also seeing one more business trend. AI companies are acquiring startups aggressively, uh, because what has happened is, talent has become scarcer than technology. Previously, technology was scarce, right? So many acquisitions today are effectively, we call it acqui-hires. Okay, it's not acquisition, it's like acqui-hires. But previously majority of the companies used to buy IPs primarily, right? But now they are also buying relationships, distributions, uh, specialized teams, top researchers, because in AI research, talent now often uh, are mattering more than the code itself. Code nowadays, it's easy to write, etc. But the talent has become more important. So yeah, these are sort of the different business model. I mean, I mentioned about AI acquisition, because acquisition is also a part of strategy. Acquisition is also part of, I mean, not maybe a business model, but definitely a business strategy. So yeah, these are all happening. Yeah.
So, before we conclude, imagine we are hosting this conversation again in 2035. What's the one AI breakthrough you hope we will be discussing, not as a prediction but as a reality?
Yeah, so predicting 2035 from where we are today is incredibly hard. It's almost a decade away. If I ask you to time travel back to 2016, right? If someone had confidently described the AI landscape of 2026, most of us would have been skeptical. Few people would have anticipated that we would have conversational AI capable of writing code, generating videos, reasoning across text, images, and audio, or that AI assistants would become part of everyday work for uh, millions of people, everybody actually. So the pace of progress has surprised even many experts. So rather than predicting a specific technology, I would rather talk about the outcome I hope we would, achieve by 2035. I hope we'll be talking about AI that has fundamentally improved human potential. Uh, uh, a world where scientific discoveries happen in months instead of decades, right? Every doctor has AI tools to catch and cure diseases earlier. Governments deliver faster and more transparent public services, right? So that's the future I would like to see. The real transformation uh, happen when technology, right, empowers people and society to solve problems we couldn't solve before. So, I think that's what I would hope for, and I think we are only at the very beginning of that journey. I hope that this becomes true, right? So, yeah, that's the vision, sort of. I would imagine in 2035. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you everyone for joining us today. And a special thanks to our guests for sharing their valuable insights. We appreciate your participation and look forward to seeing you at our next event.
Yeah, thank you for listening to me. Thank you for allowing me to answer your queries. I think, the first era of AI was about making machines intelligent. The next era is about making organizations intelligent, right? Algorithms will keep improving, but the real competitive advantage will come from how humans redesign work, build trust, and create entirely new ways of delivering value. I think that's what AI will do, I think. Yeah. So yeah, thank you so much for listening in.
Thank you, Prakash.
Thank you. Bye.